Good morning. Hello everybody. Welcome back to my channel. I already gave it away. It's morning time and I thought it would be fun to do what I eat in a day, being 6 months post bariatric surgery. I'm 6 months post bariatric surgery. So far, it's been an incredible journey. It's been really rewarding, really challenging. There's been lots of elements involved with it. And, I've struggled in the sense of like having food freedom for a really long time. And what I mean by that is I've always been hopping from like one diet to the next. I never felt like I could trust my body to tell me what it needed because I was like taught not to trust it in a lot of ways. And this whole experience, even before bariatric surgery, just the journey that I've been on, it's been really cool to see more of that freedom come out with food, where I've always enjoyed cooking, I've always enjoyed eating, I love food, and I feel like there just used to be this like shame about it for me, at least, where it's like, I could only love certain kinds of foods that were healthy, or certain foods I wasn't allowed to like. I had to like secretly like them, and I just don't feel like that now. Like, I really feel like everybody's on their own journey. What might work for me may not work for you, and that's totally cool. So I'm just going to give you an idea of my journey and what I eat 6 months post bariatric surgery. So I just got a Walmart delivery order to us, and I used to be really regimented on like when I did grocery shopping. Like, it would be like the same day every week, and now I'm just a bit more go with the flow. Like, when we need stuff, we order it. A lot of times we do utilize Walmart grocery delivery, but sometimes we'll just go run to our local store and pick up a few things. So this time we did Walmart delivery. So I'll show you a bit of what I got before I put it away, and then we'll make our first meal, which is gonna be breakfast. So I got just a couple staples. We love Fairlife milk. The reason I like Fairlife is just because it has more protein and less sugar. It is more spendy than like kind of more of the standard milk, but it's like I have to be so tactful in what I eat because I don't have, as much room as I once used to. And so I feel like it's worth spending the money on higher quality products like Fairlife. So got to stock up on that. I got some strawberries and bananas, and that's what I utilize a lot in my yogurt. I like doing strawberries and bananas in those. I got some chicken thighs that I'm gonna marinate, and we'll probably have that for dinner tonight. Some shallots, that's for my new recipe I'm gonna be making. We have some blueberry bagels. I eat those the most out of me and Dylan. Some celery, and I'm not like a huge fan of celery, but that's for a recipe that I'm doing a bit later. And then moving over, I have some sourdough bread. We do like sandwiches and stuff a lot throughout the week. I have back here, if you can see it, some mushrooms and onions, and those we use a lot for like scrambles and things like that. We have some basmati rice. Dylan will make that quite a bit to have throughout the week, just to kind of have as a side. I am eating rice. My stomach tolerates it. I just go kind of slowly, and I'm doing really well with that. We have crackers. Those are mainly for Dylan to have as a snack. And then we have Nature Valley bars, RX bars. Those are for Dylan. We had to stock up on some yogurt. We eat quite a bit of yogurt. That's kind of one of our staples for sure. I love the Oikos 000 yogurt. It tastes great, lower in sugar. My absolute favorite are these little guys here. They're like the Pro. I don't know if you can see that, but it's you get 20 grams of protein in that little container. So that's awesome. The other ones are like 15 to 17. But when I have the Pros, when I see the Pros, I try to get those. And then we have some ham. We do ham a lot with eggs, and so we had to stock up on that. Speaking of eggs, we got a whole carton, a whole bushel. I don't know if it's quite a bushel, but a big pack of eggs because we go through them quick. And then I got some, it's kind of hard to see up there, some chicken sausage that I'm going to utilize for a recipe tonight. So that's our little grocery haul. I'm going to put this away and then we'll get started on breakfast. All right, I got everything put away from our grocery haul this morning, and I'm just going to make an egg scramble. This is typically an egg scramble is typically what I have every day. Sometimes I'll do like a protein coffee in the morning, just depending on how I'm feeling. Today I just feel like something a bit more hearty, so I'm gonna make an egg scramble for me and Dylan. I'm gonna go ahead and turn my pan on and get a little bit of olive oil in it. Actually, I'm not gonna do that because I have one little strip of bacon left, so I'm gonna just utilize that strip of bacon with probably some ham. I'm gonna see how much fat renders from that, and then I'll add more olive oil if I need to. So I'm gonna get started on that. All right, so the one last lonely piece of bacon that I'm using is this Hempler's Center Cut Original. It is so good. One of my good friends, we had it at her house one time, and that's all I've bought ever since. It's just like, it's not super fatty. It's just like really good quality bacon. So I'm gonna just dice this up and get it in the pan. The nice thing with egg scrambles too is like, I don't mind, I like doing leftovers a lot of the time. And so if I make kind of like a bigger batch of an egg scramble, it's nice because it stores well in the fridge and then I can have it the next day. I'm probably just gonna make enough just for me and Dylan for right now, but that's like a nice option to have. All right, while that bacon's going, I'm just gonna utilize the veggies that we have left over that like maybe I got for a recipe, didn't end up using. I really try hard to utilize all of the stuff I buy. I know it's not always possible, but I have like part of an onion left. I have a little red bell pepper left and a zucchini and mushrooms. So that's what I'm gonna add into my egg scramble. So I'm gonna get chopping. All right, the bacon's still kind of getting crispy, so I got the onions chopped. I'm gonna just work on the red bell pepper next. Seriously, the best investment. We had pans that we had since we had gotten married, which we've been married like 6 years together, or we've been married for 6 years now. And because we cook so much, it's like those pans were just probably done so like a long time ago, but we still kept using them. And so we finally got some new pans from Costco. They were pretty affordable. They're just like non-stick pans, and oh my gosh, it's a game changer. I feel like cooking is so much easier now just having like new pans. So my encouragement to you, if you have pans that just like everything sticks to it, get yourself some new pans. The other thing on my list that I am wanting to save up for are new knives, because our knives are kind of the same way, where it's like we've just had these knives since we got married. They're not like super nice knives to begin with. And so they're way past being needed to be replaced. I mean, they're still chopping, but I feel like at this point, it's like they're barely chopping. All right, let's see how our bacon's doing. Okay, that's looking a lot more crispy. I'm gonna go ahead and add our onions in. I love adding onions to bacon. Like, I don't think there's a more heavenly combination, honestly. So that's why I always add the onions first so they can kind of get nice and caramelized before I add any of the other ingredients in. It's funny, I'm like really particular in which the order I put the veggies in my scramble, just because they cook at different times. And so you can totally just chuck it all in at the same time, but I don't know, I'm just like weird about that. So I usually start with the onions, the bell peppers are gonna come next. Then I'll probably do the mushrooms and then the zucchini, because those take a lot less time to really like cook through. And then I'll add the ham at the last minute just to kind of more heat through, and then the eggs very last. So I'm gonna go ahead and, the onions are cooking pretty fast. I'll probably just add the bell peppers in. I'll chop the mushrooms and zucchini, and then I'll be back. Okay, gonna add the mushrooms in. Mushrooms are, they're funny little fungi. They soak up a lot of moisture, so I might need to add a little more, or a little bit of oil at this point, but we'll see how they do. And then I'm gonna get started on the zucchini as these guys cook. I'm just gonna add a little bit of salt and pepper. I'm just using some seasoning salt. And I don't wanna add too much because we already are getting quite a bit of saltiness from the bacon and the ham when we add it in. And then I'll also season our eggs before we put them in. So I wanna make sure we season just enough but to not overdo it. All right. Last of the ingredients besides the eggs is the ham. So I'm just gonna put, we just get deli ham. Works for us because we eat it with sandwiches and for breakfast. So I'm just gonna get like just a few slices because we already do have a piece of bacon in there, but just to add a little bit more protein. I'm gonna cut that up and then I'll get that added in. All right, the bacon, ham, and veggies are looking beautiful. We're gonna go ahead and get started on our eggs here. I always use a fork to whisk my eggs. That's how I was taught, and I went from using a fork to using a whisk, but honestly, the fork just works better. You wanna make a little cameo? Yeah? I have the mic on so you can talk. Hello. So here we have, uh-oh, it's cutting your head off. That's okay. You can, oh yeah, there you go. There you go, perfect. Is that comfortable? No, you can stand up, your head will just be cut off. This is the, there you go. This is the omelet master right here.
Yeah.
I don't like omelets as much. And
I don't know why.
So I'll tell you why. It's because I like my eggs to be like really fluffy and like not super well done. And I feel like omelets inevitably are too well done for me. But you like them more well done. It makes sense why you like it that way.
Yeah. But in an omelet, it's like one nice package, you know?
Yeah, the texture, it just like gets me.
It's the best part about it.
The worst part about it.
Are you gonna make one big omelet here?
I'm gonna do a scramble. Sorry, that's what you get when I'm cooking.
Oh no.
And that's what I've already told them I'm making as a scramble. I can't go back on my word now. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and give these eggs a whisk. Or I guess a good forking in this case. Mornings are always good when they start with a good forking. So what I've been taught with eggs is the key is really adding a lot of air to them, which is like whisking them when you have all these little like bubbles in them. And that's how you get them to be like light and fluffy. I don't know if that's true, but that's what I do. So I think they're just about ready to go in our pan. I'm gonna just turn the heat down a little bit because like I mentioned, I don't like when my eggs are like crusty or too well done. I like them like barely cooked, like a little bit more than soft scrambled, but a little less than full scrambled is my ideal. And Dylan just tends to like them more well done, so it's a compromise. That's what marriage is, I suppose. All right, give these guys a stir. I remember when I was little, and I mean, I guess still now, to be honest, it like always really impressed me how fast eggs cooked. Like I was just always like in awe. It's just one of those things, like I feel like a lot of other cooking or a lot of other recipes would just like take a long time. There's like a process, but it's like, man, if you just want eggs, it's like the quickest thing ever. It cooks so fast. All right, the eggs are just about done. I'm gonna add some cheese on top. Just kind of stir it all around. Man, how have they not done a singing competition with cooking, like have them married together? Is that a thing? Has that already happened and I don't know about it? All right, so I'm just waiting for our toast and bagel to get done. I feel the best when I have meals that I call like balanced meals, I suppose, where I have, you know, we have macronutrients, protein, carbs, fat, and basically when I have like a good for me combination of all three is when I feel the best. And so I really try to incorporate all three macronutrients in every meal and snack that I have. I had a season in my life where I did all like macro tracking. I feel like it was really helpful in some ways and really not in other ways. It was helpful getting the information and learning more about like food and nutrition. But I feel like it fed into kind of like my diet mindset of like having to be super regimented and like strict and like obsessive kind of over it. So I think, you know, people can do it and not have that mindset. That's just kind of how it affected me. But I am glad for like 6 months, I like tracked everything that I ate. This was before bariatric surgery. And it was really just helpful and eye-opening to see kind of like amounts and what food sat best with me, when I felt the best, what I was eating, making sure I was eating enough. And that's what was really surprising is like before doing that, I was really under eating. Like I was not eating enough food to support my body. So no wonder it held on to weight and stuff in that way. But now I'm at a point where when oh, sorry, my time is up. 1 second. All right, what I was saying is when I first had my bariatric surgery, I did log and track everything for the first little while, just as I was getting familiar with my new stomach. And so I could kind of make sure that I was getting enough calories and kind of just trending to see where I'm at. And then after a while, it just felt kind of for me like a good stopping point where it's like I just began eating more intuitively. Before my bariatric surgery journey, I read the book Intuitive Eating. I highly recommend that no matter what journey you're on. But I read that before my bariatric surgery and started adopting some of those principles, and it was really, really helpful. And so now I don't log my calories or my macros. I just really eat pretty intuitively. But I feel like for myself, one of the reasons why that's the case is because I educated myself in nutrition and kind of how all that worked to where it feels more intuitive now. But you know, everybody has a different way of doing it. That's just what's worked well for me. For my mental health, it's great, like that I'm not logging stuff all the time. I don't think I could do that long term, but it's cool that I know how to do that. So if I'm trying to meet certain health goals down the road, or sometimes I'll just log like what I've eaten in a day, kind of like retroactively, just to kind of see where my calorie count is to make sure that I'm getting enough in. And it's really cool to see that like I really can trust my body in that way. When I've done that, I'm hitting like right where I'm supposed to, being 6 months out, or at least like with the guidelines that my program gave me. So it's just cool and encouraging to see that it's like I don't need to be so stressed out about it. I can really just like lean into what my body needs. Some days I have, you know, more, some days I have less. I just kind of go with the flow, and that's worked out really well for me. So I'm gonna finish plating up breakfast, and then I have some work I have to do, and I'll probably see you back for my coffee, which will be after breakfast in a little bit. So I'll see you then. It's coffee time. This is kind of what I usually have for my snack, like my morning snack, and I'm ready for it. I like to eat breakfast or something a little more hearty to start my day off when I can, and then have coffee a bit later, just because I feel like that works pretty well for my body. But sometimes if I'm on the go, I'll just make a protein coffee. I know people call it Profi. Okay, I'm not like totally out of the loop here, but I always want to call it Profi because it's like protein coffee. And then I just feel silly every time I try to say it, because it's like I want to say Profi, but I know it's Profi, and so I'm calling it protein coffee. I'm bringing back the OG version of what people used to call it back in the day. So I just have a cup of ice. I usually like my coffee iced. Sometimes I'll do it hot, but it usually takes me a while to drink it. And so I hate that I usually have to microwave it like 3 times when I make it hot. So it's just easier to do it iced. I have 2 shots of espresso. I'm gonna be using this Torani vanilla bean. I have it in a little container that I just like pump it into. I always put a little bit of cinnamon in there as well, just because I think it tastes really good. I'm using my Fairlife milk. Milk is, I feel like, such an underrated superfood. Like, I know, come at me, the people who are dairy-free. I used to be dairy-free, and I get it, but I drink milk so much because it has such a great balance of protein, carbs, and fat. You get it all in one beautiful drink. So I love milk. And then if I wanted to do a protein coffee, I have this, it's Dimetize cocoa pebbles, and it almost makes like a mocha when I use it. I'm still feeling pretty full from breakfast, so I don't really want to add more protein. I feel good without it. I'm just going to do like a regular coffee, but if I wanted to get more protein, I might do a scoop or even half a scoop, but I'm going to keep that out for today. So I'll show you how I make it. All right, so I usually, I put that vanilla syrups or sugar-free vanilla syrup in this little container. So I usually do anywhere from like 5 to 6 pumps. So I'm just gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I'll do a little bit of my cinnamon. And then I'll do my espresso shots. Usually I'll just pour it all in, but for aesthetic purposes, so you guys can see what I'm doing, that's why I kind of have it more separated out. And then I'm just gonna pour my milk on top. And then I have a very sophisticated utensil to stir my coffee. Just kidding, it's just a straw. So I just mix it all up. Okay, time for a taste test. That's so good. It's funny, I wasn't a big coffee person until after my surgery. For some reason, I drink it more, and it's something I look forward to every day now. So yeah, it's good. I'm gonna keep working and then I'll see you guys back for lunch. Hello. I am here to make kind of, I guess, what's gonna be my dinner. I took a nap after work. I was pretty tired. So I woke up craving something sweet. So I had planned, I was gonna make like a new recipe for dinner, but I just like don't feel like doing it, and something sweet sounds better to me. So I've really learned, just like through intuitive eating and bariatric surgery, to really just like lean into my cravings. If I'm craving something savory or sweet, it always seems to be for a purpose. And so in the past, I used to kind of like deny myself, like, oh, it's dinner, I should be having something savory for dinner. And it's like, why? I'm an adult. The rules don't apply to me. I can eat whatever I want, whenever I want. So I'll show you, I'm gonna be making like a little yogurt bowl, and this is like my go-to. I do it fairly similar every time I make it, so I'll show you what I do. Okay, so I'm gonna get my yogurt. I'm using the Oikos 000 vanilla yogurt. I usually get like a big container of this because it's a bit more cost effective than the little containers, but hold on, we have to take a brief intermission. The corgis love to, hold on. We're getting out of control here. Corgis love to lick the yogurt off anything that they can. Can you guys hear this? Ain't no tentacle. Hopefully that was some nice corgi ASMR. All right, I'm gonna just kind of stir this around a little bit, and then I'll get it into my bowl. This is like a very oversized bowl for what I'm making, but I'm doing it for aesthetic purposes, so you can really see all that I put into my yogurt bowls. So again, not measuring. I'm pretty hungry right now, so I'm gonna do fair amount. I made the best combination with vanilla Greek yogurt this week. I got the vanilla Greek yogurt, how many times can I say that, with mini chocolate chips, and then I dipped vanilla wafers in them. Oh my gosh. I'm bringing that to the next party I get invited to, which will probably be a little while. I'm just gonna put some bananas. In case you were wondering, the type of bananas I like are when they're still a little bit green. Just barely, not like crazy green, okay, but that's my favorite. And we have some strawberries. And then I'm gonna put some granola. This is the kind I'm using. It's the Kind peanut butter cluster. Has a pretty good amount of protein. It's really good. I like mine, these come in like clusters, but I like them more like I like them less clustery, so I'll kind of like break them apart when I put them in. Okay, and then last but certainly not least, I have some Ghirardelli 60% bittersweet chocolate chips that I'm gonna put on top. I like to be pretty generous here. I mean, I love chocolate. It's a good source of fat. Perfect. And this is the finished product. This is like a fan favorite, cult classic staple in our house. If this were a movie, what movie would it be? So it'd probably be Just Go With It, because that's like one of my favorite movies that I watch all the time, and it's a fan favorite classic. So this is my Just Go With It yogurt. And see, we have a lot of good sources of protein, carbs, and fat. And even though it's like a sweeter meal for me, it still has all the great elements. So you can totally have sweet stuff for dinner. Wait, I just am noticing this, you guys. How did this little mini chip get in here? Do you see the comparison? I think I'm taking it as a good sign, a good omen. Well guys, thanks for joining me today and seeing what I get to eat in a day. Hopefully you like this video, something kind of a little different and new. If there's any like food related questions you have, feel free to leave them in the comments. Or if you're maybe needing like different ideas or suggestions on things, I like to get creative in the kitchen and come up with like kind of different ideas and fun things like that. So if you have questions or want ideas about something, let me know in the comments and I'll respond to them. All right, thanks guys, have a good one, bye.